is Estevan.
But you see that Kadri signaled the crowd last night. He did his talking on the ice. I know a lot of people don't like him. It's his style of play people don't like more than anything as far as hockey fans. But as far as his race goes, I'm just a Kadri fan for all of how he's handled this. He did his talking on the ice. He said, I've been dealing with this for years. He just kind of dismissed it. No different than Ethan Bear and stuff he's gone through. And I'm just proud of Nazem Kadri. Answered the bell last night.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes, it is. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are just pleased as punch to be live from Affinity Place in beautiful Estevan, Saskatchewan. It's day, 7 for the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons as we continue to bring you your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. It is episode number 764 as we welcome in the co-host Darren Moose DuPont here from the RP Show and DuPont Media. How you doing, Moose?
Doing great.
It's an interesting day. Buckle up, everybody. 2 hours of hot sports talk and fun. But listen, the music's rocking in here. The Brooks Bandits are practicing, okay? Do they play tonight? Yes, they do. In the feature game. Dope. 7:30 p.m. tonight. I have never in my life, and I've been around the block a time or two, seen a hockey team practice with music blaring like this. Never. Football teams? Absolutely.
Yeah.
More do it than don't. And certainly Grey Cup championships and stuff like that. Listen to this. I'm walking around and the players are dancing, the coach is bopping. Oh, by the way, they're undefeated, and they came in as the favorites of this tournament. And
there might be something to it.
I'm here for it. I have literally no problem.
We've been here all week
with it.
2 shows already, and they've been practicing. Every team's been doing their game day skate.
Yeah.
There's never been any music until the warm-ups start at 11:30 before the 12 o'clock game. This is the first I've seen a team.
It reminds me a little bit of Touchdown Atlantic in Moncton 2019 when the Alouettes were playing the Argos, and I was on the sidelines watching the Alouettes warm up, and Kahari Jones, the head coach, was taking the warm up with the drills as the head coach, which I've never actually seen before.
Yeah.
And he had his earbuds in just like you now, and he was. But that's Kahari Jones, man. That's pro football. You kind of expect that. Not junior hockey.
No.
But I'm here for it. I like it.
It's awesome.
And Clark, who's the coach of Brooks? Ryan Papuano. Okay, well, bravo to Ryan Papuano because he's reinventing hockey, and I'm today years old on Wednesday, May 25th, to have ever seen that be a thing before. Think he's starting something? Or he should.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, we see it game day, like pregame, obviously, all the time. Football, too, but never a
hockey practice.
Just a regular practice.
I think it's cool. It doesn't bother me a bit. Not much phases me. So anyways, coming up today, the man, if you've been watching these games at hockeycanada.ca that's been broadcasting most of them, Jamie Neugebauer, the Elliot Friedman of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, is going to be with us. Lots to get to with Nugsy later on. We'll run through this tournament, where it's been, where it's going. Many seasoned NHL veteran Grant Jennings is going to be stopping by here today. And it's funny because going into the week, some of the people in charge of guest booking, I think, were a little concerned here with this show as to what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. And I knew, certainly as the week went along, that the NHL people would start flooding in, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to have Grant Jennings on today. There will be more NHL people as the week moves along, as we broadcast here from Estevan, and Ryan Leslie, the host of Sportsnet Flames, to talk about what went on. So enough about that. Can you hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan? Please and thank you. So let's get into it. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scored his second goal of the game with 3:27 to go, and the Edmonton Oilers beat Calgary last night 5-3 to take a 3-1 lead in their second-round Stanley Cup playoff series. Evander Kane scored his NHL leading 11th and 12th goals of the postseason, and Zach Hyman added a goal for Edmonton. Elias Lindholm and Michael Backlund scored for Calgary, and Rasmus Andersson on a 132-footer to beat Mike Smith, but it didn't matter. Calgary will look to stave off elimination Thursday night at home in Game 5. We didn't see this coming. I had one Oiler fan text me overnight and said, please don't wear an Oiler jersey because I wore a Flames jersey yesterday and they lost. Like it's on me. So Oiler fans, of which I used to be part of that union, don't get cocky. And for the most part, they haven't. I'm not going to paint them all because of one guy.
Right.
They've been fairly classy with winning last night. And as far as Calgary goes, don't think I jinxed you. And then I don't think they think that, but come on. Bad penalties, bad goals against, not making the Oilers pay for their mistakes, because it's not like the Oilers played a mistake-free game last night. You and I watched it in the lobby of the hotel and a portion of it here at a restaurant with our good friends in Estevan, and the Oilers have the Flames on the ropes. It's astounding.
It is. I mean, you look at the way Calgary played in that game. They outplayed Edmonton, I think, for the majority of that hockey game last night. At least, most of, that game, and ended up losing. But that's, Edmonton's getting a little bit more mature in their game. When they're getting outplayed like that, they are not making as many mistakes, and then they're capitalizing when they get an opportunity. I mean, you can't start the game like that if you're Jacob Markstrom. For whatever reason, the Oilers are his kryptonite. He plays so good against everybody else in the league except Edmonton, makes the mistake early, and then, the Flames did come back in that first period into the second and third and really kind of took over the game. And, they outscored Edmonton 3-1 the rest of the way, right? But when you get behind early, it's really tough to overcome that.
Again, 3-1 Oilers, and they can finish it Thursday in Calgary. And John Massey's watching, Oiler fan. Remember what your mom said, John? I saw your Instagram story this morning. They said, don't get cocky, John. Your mom said that. But he writes in here and says, the next poll question, because we didn't have a poll question. We were running around like chickens with our head cut off this morning for whatever reason, and we didn't come up with a poll question. And I think John has named it for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. What bandwagon will Rod jump on next?
Oh,
that's pretty good.
That's a good one.
Tampa Bay, Colorado, Brooks. I don't know. We got to put some thought into that. But John, I like it. And let me just say this before we move on to the second point. And we've got a lot of time here in hour one for Moose and I to kick this around before Nugsy joins us here at Affinity Place on set. I saw the guys on SportsCenter saying it was Mean Gene Principe and Mark Spector and Eric Francis, and they said, how do we expect the Flames to come out on Thursday? Well, I think they're going to come out like a house on fire. They're not going to wilt.
No.
Not at home.
No.
This doesn't end Thursday.
It might. It shouldn't. I mean, the way the game went last night, you thought Calgary would have won the game. If you didn't see any of the goals, you just saw the way the game was played, you thought Calgary was going to win that hockey game. But you also thought Florida was going to beat Tampa, too, the way they played in Game 4, right? If you didn't see any of the goals and you just saw the game, you thought that Florida would have won that game, too. So anything can happen, but I still see this series going a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm going to move on. A lot of comments coming in. People are punchy and poppy today. And we're going to get to the CFL probably in the second segment, and we'll go deep on the CFL in the second segment. But the nation is on fire for hockey right now. Point two, Andrew Kopp had a goal and 2 assists, and Frank Vetrano and Adam Fox each had a goal and a helper as the New York Rangers beat the Carolina Hurricanes 4-1 in Game 4 to tie that series up 2-2. My Kopp buddy in Fort Lauderdale, Brian Dodge, the mayor of Dodge City, said, Rod, did the Rangers have a chance in this series? I said, nope. Well, now it's 2-2, and they should be up 3-1. Mika Zibanejad also scored. Igor Shesterkin stopped 30 shots for the Rangers, who won their 5th straight playoff game at home. Teuvo Teravainen scored for the Hurricanes. They might lead the NHL in great names.
Mm-hmm.
Nino Niederreiter, Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen. Name a team with better names than that.
I know. I can't.
You can't. Game 5 goes in Raleigh. Point 3, into some junior hockey stuff. The host Estevan Bruins were eliminated from playoff contention here at the Centennial Cup, presented by Tim Hortons last night by virtue of Longueuil's 6-1 win over the Red Lake Miners in the evening game. Due to their 1-2 start to the round robin, the Bruins needed Longueuil to lose last night, but they also needed to beat Brooks tonight for a chance to play on the weekend. However, Owen Stammer scored 4 times in the win for the Quebec squad, rendering the Estevan Brooks game tonight meaningless. Wah, wah, wah. In other Tuesday games, Jacob Vockler scored in the shootout as Flin Flon defeated Dauphin 2-1 here at Affinity Place. That game was fire. And the one great thing about Estevan and the people that are here that have come from all outlying communities to watch, they're hockey fans. So they don't care necessarily if the Bruins aren't in it. We were on the edge of our seats watching the Dauphin Flin Flon game last night. The Bison clash.
It's unreal.
So good.
It's like Flin Flon had so many chances to win it in the third, when it was tied. And then in the overtime, couple of goalposts, wraparounds off the toe. And eventually they did it in a shootout, and their fans were nuts. Like,
ridiculous.
Crazy.
Go to our Instagram, at The Rod Pedersen Show, and watch. The Flin Flon fans spilled out of the arena, and they're acting like they had escaped an institution.
Yeah.
And they're all got their gear on. It's like a carnival, beating drums, beads. And one guy pulled me aside. He's like, listen, I'm not this crazy normally. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Go nuts. That's what you came here for. And I think if Flin Flon is playing into the weekend, somebody better watch Flin Flon because it's going to be empty. They're all going to be down here. So the Flin Flon game yesterday was fire, like I said. In the day's first game, TJ Hughes scored 3 goals, and the Brooks Bandits scored 6 times on the power play, a 9-1 rout of the Pickering Panthers, who suffered their first loss in the game. And by the way, Pickering, if I can just say, if you are going to wear full face shields, which I know is your league mandate and you have to, stop running around sticking everybody in the face on the opposition, okay?
How about that?
We square on that? It looks bad. Like, was it a line from Slapshot? There was blood all over the ice in the game, and Brooks made him pay for it, but you can't wear cages and run around sticking people in the face. In what world do they think you can do that?
When the other team's wearing a half visor and their faces are exposed, right? I mean,
you can't do that.
No, you can't.
When I say you can't do that, it's not right. Obviously, legally you can't do that, but it doesn't. I was getting on the Pickering train, then I saw them playing so dirty. I'm like, I can't like these guys. In the dub, the Kamloops Blazers got 3 goals from Logan Stankoven and 2 from Dalen Kuffler as they defeated the Seattle Thunderbirds 6-3 to take a 2-1 lead in the WHL's Western Conference Final last night. Game 4 tonight in the Emerald City. That's Seattle. And in the Eastern Conference Final, the Edmonton Oil Kings, with 2 overtime wins in this series, are up 2-1 over the Winnipeg Ice. Game 4 tonight at Rogers Place. Our coverage of the Centennial Cup is brought to you in part by Cavendish Farms, proud supporter of junior hockey across Canada. Moving on to point 4, Danny Jansen hit a 3-run homer and a solo shot. Vladimir Guerrero also went deep for the Blue Jays. They beat the St. Louis Cardinals 8-1 last night. Kevin Gausman threw 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts and no walks. He allowed 4 hits and beat the Cardinals for the first time in 8 appearances. Toronto split the 2-game series and ended the Cards' win streak at 4. The Jays open a 4-game series with the Angels in Los Angeles on Thursday. So the Blue Jays' big bats got out and their problems are behind them. You didn't see a lot of bitching on the networks last night about the Blue Jays.
No, you haven't. And maybe they're
Maybe it's
out
over.
of it. Maybe it's over. Yeah.
By the way, this Saturday night, Jeff Foxworthy, the largest-selling comedy recording artist in history, a multiple Grammy Award nominee and best-selling author of more than 26 books, brings his brand new The Good Old Days tour to Calgary this Saturday night to Grey Eagle Resort and Casino at the Event Center. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. And you guys were ready for that one. Tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.ca. If I could be there, I would. In the time we have left, we got a few minutes here. This is where it's going to get fun. CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosie says the league has tabled its final offer to the Players Association. He says the new proposal includes a $1 million ratification bonus pool for players and reduces the proposed number of nationalized Canadians from 4 to 1 and cuts back on the number of Canadian starters from 7 to 6. The new offer is on the table until midnight Eastern on Thursday. So, I was on Global National today. All across this beautiful country, from Newfoundland to Victoria, I was on Global Television this morning, and I had to get up at 4 a.m. to get ready to go. Chugged a gallon of coffee, Darren. Showered early.
Okay.
Primped and propped myself. Brushed my hair, and then I went and left it sitting on the bedpost. That's an old Willie.
One, Rod.
That's an old Willie Cole joke. Anyways, I was on there bright and early. We love that stuff.
That's good.
And it's funny because we'll get to the CFL, the nuts and bolts of it. I want to tell the fun part of this story. Anthony Robart was the anchor. And they told me of Global National News. And he said, it's like for the Americans watching, it would be like what? CBS?
Yeah.
So they said, Rod, you got 4 minutes, so keep it tight. And I said, I can do that. Well, we get into the interview. He goes, we have the legendary voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders here, Rod Pedersen from Game Plus. And Rod, I'm a Saskatchewan boy, so I follow the CFL. And he never really got into the nuts and bolts of it. They just want to know what's going on. They're watching from 50,000 feet. They're not in the battle. They're not in the forest.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on, because it looks chaotic. And I'm like, well, nobody really knows what's going on, because this has never happened before. And that can be exciting. But I kept it very positive, Darren. And when we come back, we'll get into this with the viewers, with everybody else. So we got a lot of hockey going on. The Blue Jays won. We'll talk about the poll question. I feel like we're just getting into it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be right back. We're live from Affinity Place and the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons, live from the beautiful city of Estevan. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio, as always, at rodpedersen.com.
Rod Pedersen, back in Canada. He must be lost. On location, brought to you by the city of Estevan. Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
This is a bedtime story and a
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Every kitchen is a restaurant. Ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The Rod Pedersen Show, brought to you by Power Dodge Estevan.
It is the place to be for hockey fans across the land. Estevan, Saskatchewan. The Centennial Cup is on. It is day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Day 7, Darren. Just so you know, it's day 7. Goes a long time. And it's just heating up now as we get ready to wind up the round robin tonight. And the playoffs go this weekend. By the way, the RP Show brought to you in part by Bronco Plumbing and Heating and Cooling. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information at more at broncoplumbing.com. Can you help us out with a poll question, please? And I thank Oiler fan John Massey for bringing it up. Which bandwagon will Rod jump on next? And I'll remind you, the Oilers haven't beaten the Flames yet. And by the way, the only reason, because I've had some hockey people say, what's up with the Flames? You never really used to get along with the Flames. I said, look at the way the Flames are treating us, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Far better than the Oilers had. What are we going to say? Tampa? Probably Tampa. If I had a vote, it would be Tampa. The Brooks Bandits.
Okay.
Not the Rangers or Hurricanes. That's not going to. They're a bunch of jerks.
Oilers and Avs.
Oilers, Edmonton. Okay, I got it. Edmonton. The series isn't even over yet.
Well,
Tampa
but
Bay.
He's asking. I guess it's assuming that Calgary and Florida both out, right? Florida we know is out.
Right.
We're assuming Calgary's. I think the poll question's assuming Calgary's done.
Right. Okay.
So it'd be Tampa, Edmonton,
Brooks.
Sure, Brooks. But I know most people won't understand that if they're not following along the tournament. It literally could be. It could be Edmonton or Tampa.
Right. That'll be what it is. So I'll tweet it here in the next break. From the viewers, I'll just throw this in here from Jason and Red Deer. He says, I thought the CFL already had a deal done last week. I need to catch up. Well, I'll say it again. That's why Global had me on. Come on, CFL. I was very positive on the show. I said this morning on Global National with the anchor Anthony Robart. I believe the games will be played this weekend. I've got respect for John Huffnagel and Wade Miller, the leaders in Calgary and Winnipeg that have said they're optimistic the games will be played. And I said, Darren, to be honest, this is what I really think it comes down to. And I said it on Global. If the players wanted to do the ultimate power play, it would be to walk out after practicing all week and not play this weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll do it because they need to play. Just from a pure football standpoint, they need to play to show themselves off. They could be cut if they walk out.
Yeah, and then that's the guys that would want to play, the guys who are battling for positions and trying to make the team, and they're going to want to play. Players don't get paid for preseason, is my understanding, but the teams can make money off of ticket sales and concessions and whatnot.
Sure.
So if the players walk out and don't play in the game, they don't lose any money. The teams lose money. So you're right, that is the ultimate power play. But these guys got to play too, the guys that are fighting for roster spots.
They're football players, not businessmen.
Yeah, they're not thinking about that.
No. So I think that they'll play, and I think they'll get it settled. And Randy Ambrosie said yesterday, this is the last offer. This is it. Till the next one? What do you believe? I don't believe much of what he has to say, because I'm not sure I like the fact that the commissioner is saying this is our last offer. Oh, really? Which team do you own? I'd kind of like to think that he's a little bit on the player's side, and he doesn't seem to be.
No, and I like the idea of, in principle, okay, this is our last offer. We're not just going to keep doing this for 3 months. We're not. But if he says it's the last offer and the players reject it, then you have to decide. It's like a mom or a dad. I'm gonna turn this vehicle around, right? I'm gonna count to 3, and then what? And the kid tempts you, and do you actually act when you get to 3? Will Randy actually say, okay, that was our last offer, you rejected it, we're done? He's basically signing his own resignation letter at that point.
Darren Workman in Salt Lake City says, confused by the Confused Football League? You don't say. And Darren says, just when you think it could not get stranger, in steps the CFLPA. As the one agent said to me, and I talked to him on the phone last night, you were sitting beside me, he's like, they don't know what they're doing. And that's very evident, and that's sad. But they're players. They want to play. John in Edmonton says, I'm at Elks practice right now. It doesn't sound good for this weekend's games. Well, I don't believe any of the bunk. I don't believe any of it's fake news. So I think they are going to play. I got another one here. The CEBL tips off tonight, the Canadian Elite Basketball League. You're going to be hearing a lot about it on today's show. There are 3 games tonight. The Montreal Alliance will play their first ever game. That's a pretty big deal. I feel like more people should know about the Canadian Elite Basketball League.
Yeah.
So they're at the Hamilton Honey Badgers tonight. They play in First Ontario Centre, formerly Cops Coliseum. That's tonight, Montreal and Hamilton. If you want some good Canadian sporting pro action, head down there, buy a ticket. Same story in Ottawa, TD Place, where the 67s play in the Red Blacks. The Ottawa Blackjacks are home tonight to the Fraser Valley Bandits, and the Saskatchewan Rattlers tip off their 4th season tonight against the Niagara River Dogs. You can watch them all on CBC Gem or the CEBL website, cebl.ca. Jack, watching in Vulcan, Alberta, says, unfortunately, money talks. The commish saying last offer could really tick the players off. If I go back and forth on this, the guys at Global, and I think I'm going to be on Global a lot, by the way, they said I did a good job. They said it looked good in the room,
okay,
that the sound was good, and I appreciate Global having me on to talk CFL, because they knew that they were going to get the straight goods and no gobbledygook, and nobody was pulling my strings. But they said, what's next, Rod? I'm like, I don't know. They don't know. How would I know? It's never happened before.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's going through it for the first time.
Right. Andrew Stute, Quebecer, watching on YouTube, says, hey, Rod, TSN 690 will be broadcasting games for the Montreal Alliance. Very exciting. Yes. And Saga 960 Mississauga is going to do the Hamilton Honey Badgers games. And I believe in Edmonton, TSN 1260 is doing the Stingers games.
Yeah. That's huge.
My heart just fluttered a little bit. Are we going back to the old days of actual Canadian sport being broadcast on Canadian radio locally?
That's cool.
Don't think that's not a big deal. I mean, how many NLL teams in this country have radio deals? Not that many.
I don't think so.
And until this year, the CEBL had none. My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat is watching. She says, I'm with you, Rod. Yes, Chris, but you have to be. We're genetically related. By the way, coming back into Saskatchewan this morning, Darren, would you mind telling people what happened in that coffee shop here in Estevan?
Just with all the...
You know what that guy said about being related?
No, I don't think... Oh.
He goes, I'm a Brown.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, you weren't listening? You
No.
had your earphones?
Yeah.
This is how things work here in the rectangle. Knowing full that I haven't been back, been gone for some time, walk into a coffee shop where Moose asked me to meet him. It wasn't at Tim Hortons. It was a locally owned, pretty swinging place, eh?
Yeah.
It's a good spot.
Yeah, it was great.
Table of 4 guys are sitting there. Older, right?
Yeah.
Guy spins around, says to me, Rod Pedersen, you from Milestone? Which is a small Saskatchewan town of 640 people. I said, yes, guilty as charged. Yep. He goes, I'm related to the Browns. And I said, I'm sorry. So am I. Apparently we're related.
That's funny.
It's a small gene pool around here.
That's a small town Saskatchewan thing. Everybody's related. Yeah.
I'm related to the Browns. So am I. Never laid eyes on the guy, I don't think, ever in my life. Yeah. It's scary in a way. Something else I wanted to talk about. Florida Panthers held their season-ending media availability today, and I understand that you have to do it, but I think people are still emotional after the way the season ended. I'm not a proponent of interviewing the coach right after the game because he's saying things that you don't mean. I swear to God, you are. Players, too. It's been a couple days since the Panthers season ended, and Claude Giroux, maybe I shouldn't speak for them. Don't ask me about the Florida Panthers because I'm still ticked off that they crapped themselves in round 2. Claude Giroux said, apparently this morning in Sunrise, that he would consider coming back to Florida if the money was right. And I'm like, you, what did you do in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Claude? As I see Frank Vetrano, which was a separate deal, but Frank scored again last night. Frank the Tank for the Rangers, and they gave up Owen Tippett. Who were we? Oh, we were talking with Alamay about that last night. Like, this Owen Tippett's a stud.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Panthers could go back, if they would redo this. So anyways, the players all said this morning that they would wholeheartedly endorse Andrew Burnett coming back next season as the head coach. And I follow a bunch of Panthers fans on Twitter. You should have seen the reaction from the Panthers fans. They're like, well, of course they want Burnett back. That means they don't have to work very hard. I was like,
and they can go out to the club.
They can go to the strip club till 3 in the morning. Who wouldn't want Burnett back? Now, that's somewhat insulting to Andrew Burnett because we don't know if Joel Quenneville could have coached the Panthers past the Tampa Bay Lightning either. He probably couldn't have.
Right.
But what I would do if I was the general manager, Bill Zeno, or whoever's in charge, Joel Quenneville has to apply for reinstatement to the NHL anyways to come back and coach. So if he's going to apply, why not apply to have him come back to Florida? What is it? This is one of 32 teams. And somebody wrote me on Twitter. I put that on Twitter this morning, and the guy says, so doesn't that send the wrong message? What message? He didn't do anything wrong in Florida. It was in Chicago. Have I completely misread that situation?
No, and you and I have had this conversation a little bit, scratched the surface on it. But for me, the message it sends, the whole situation with Joel Quenneville is the news came out from Chicago. Quenneville saw the evidence from everybody else's perspective and said, look, I played a role in that and I made a mistake, so I'm going to step down. Whether he was asked to step down or not, from a PR perspective, he did that. He's been away, watched his team lose out in the playoffs when they had Stanley Cup aspirations. Now he comes back and says, look, I made the mistake. This is what I've learned.
Served his sentence.
And I want to come back and be a better person for the league and coach this team, right? So I think the message lines up quite nicely for him to make a return back if he's that guy, right? Again, I don't know Joel Quenneville. We've never met. And Gary Bettman will have to have that conversation to find out.
Well, again, we were sitting around with some hockey guys, some NHL guys last night, and it seems that the Florida Panthers have a great culture. Joel Quenneville's a big part of building that. Why throw the baby out with the bathwater? Which I still don't really know what that means, but my mom used to say it all the time, and it sounds good.
Yeah.
You know, Quenneville, he served his time. That's what I would do. I would at least look into it if I was the Florida Panthers. It's not that crazy. The reason I was smiling when you said that was my cousin Christine. She's got all the questions. She writes in today and says, so I'm wondering what percentage of NHL games are won by who scores first? Number one, my first inclination was Mike Ditka. Why do you want to know? My guess, 68%. I believe I read that somewhere.
Okay.
68% of teams that score the first goal go on to win. Last night, Oilers did. It was not, obviously, the Flames made them sweat for it, but...
Yeah. It's happened 3 out of the 4 games in the series.
Right. Regarding the CEBL tipping off tonight, Robin in Prince Edward says, I went to a couple of Rattlers games last year. Great price, great entertainment. I'm not a basketball guy. They treat the kids awesomely. My kids loved it. It's not necessarily about what's going on in the court. It's about the atmosphere. I remember going to my first Rattlers game. Lee Genier was the president. And it was, I'm like, whoa, this is like the NBA. Yeah. It really is. Go check it out tonight in Hamilton, Ottawa, and Saskatchewan. The CEBL tips off tonight. We're big fans of theirs. By the way, you'll be back next hour, maybe later on this hour, but one viewer says the commissioner said the CFL will not be paying for food or housing for the players if they vote no, if they walk out. I wonder, and I'll say this for next hour, but there's some things being said and done that I would wonder if you could ever get over if you were a player and owners.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? How are you supposed to get over this?
Come back to work the next day.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be really careful how you handle, you know, these contentious situations, right? When there's any workplace issues, right?
Could you get over it? I'm not sure I could get over it. No, I don't think so.
You and I have issues in the morning, and it takes time to get over it. You know what I mean?
For you. See you in See you in hour 2. The Elliot Friedman of Junior A Hockey joins us next here from Centennial Cup. Our junior hockey coverage is brought to you by Cavendish Farms and Power Dodge Estevan. You're watching on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
The Rod Pedersen Show, live from Estevan, is presented in part by the award-winning Wanda Heron Photography.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
This is a bedtime story and a rise and shine. Official.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Every kitchen is a restaurant. Ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
On location at the 2022 Centennial Cup, brought to you by the City of Estevan.
It is the RP Show live from the Energy City. We're brought to you in part by Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. They specialize in improving your company's performance and bottom line through supply chain management services. It is day 7 of the National Junior A Hockey Championship here in Canada, and we could not be happier. The bad news, the host Estevan Bruins were eliminated from contention last night. The good news is, I think everybody else is still in except for Red Lake, Ontario, and fans of those teams are migrating here to the Energy City in southeastern Saskatchewan to catch it. If you've been watching the games on hockeycanada.ca, Jamie Neugebauer has been calling a lot of them, and he joins us right now, the Elliot Friedman of the SJHL. How you doing, Nugsy?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me, Rod. How are you doing?
Of course, good. And I'm hoping to keep you here for a couple segments. By the way, from the Off the Hosel podcast, Drew Koser's written in, SJ alum. He says, "Good day, man. Hope the Energy City is buzzing." It's buzzing, isn't it? From your perspective?
Yeah, it's been wild. They've done an incredible job, Rory. Rory. I'm used to doing a show with a guy named Rory. Rod. I was talking to President Josh Biggs, the president of the Estevan Bruins, and he's just thrilled with the turnout to all the games they had. Pulled out all the stops. They had elementary school students, Rod.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, any bar, restaurant, people are talking about it. And Rod, the thing that I know that they're doing well is that they got you to come here. So that's big.
I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else that I'd rather be.
For sure.
And for those that don't know, Estevan, Saskatchewan, the president of the Bruins has an orange McLaren sports car parked right out front. I don't know if you've seen that or not. But
maybe they'll give us a ride.
Welcome to the Energy City. Now, today's games, Noon Mountain, Summerside PEI up against the Ottawa Junior Senators. And then at 4 p.m., Sioux, Ontario versus Dauphin Kings. And then tonight, it's the Estevan Bruins versus the Brooks Bandits. Couple things. You watched the Brooks practice this morning. Have you ever seen a team practice with the dance music blaring like that? I've never seen it.
I did, actually, up in Flin Flon during the SJHL finals.
Who did?
Even the Flin Flon Bombers. Every morning skate, every practice, it's boo, boo. But I guess the thing about the Whitney Forum,
I like it.
I love it too. It's kind of got a basketball vibe to it. I guess everything up in the Whitney Forum is loud, though, Rod, is what I'm hearing. But, that Brooks team, I'm telling you, I think they could beat some major junior teams the way they play.
So there's that. Yeah. 2, DuPont had the best question for you. He said, what's the best game you've seen this week?
There have been some real doozies. I actually think that the Longueuil Estevan game, the first one, was a really good game, really tight back and forth game. I think the Estevan Bruins and their faithful thought maybe they'd blow them out of the water, but they didn't. Longueuil showed up to be a lot better than a lot of people thought. And then the second answer to that has been all the Flin Flon games, really. I mean,
they've been wild.
Yeah. The Flin Flon Ottawa game, I called it. Come from behind late, win in overtime. Xavier Lapointe in overtime. So, who doesn't love to call an overtime goal, Rod? And so I guess my answer would be Flin Flon Ottawa. But the Flin Flon game yesterday against Dauphin, the Battle of Manitoba. I know you got a lot of Manitoba fans, Rod.
Yeah.
Out there.
Well, viewers, anyways. I don't know about fans,
but that one's looked like it was an awesome game too.
It went to a shootout.
Yeah.
And, there's some interesting things about there's some disputed goals in it, and it's like, why is there not review? And I know why there isn't. There could be, but there isn't for their own reasons, and I get it. But I'm just like, I hope it doesn't come down to a disputed goal. We've been playing this tournament for 100 years without video review, so they'll get by with it. But have you noticed, though, just yesterday, a switch flipped in the games, and the intensity is just off the chain, man.
Yeah. One of the things is, not to poo-poo, obviously, but one of the things with the 10-team tournament is there's going to be a few lopsided games, lower energy ones, but certainly every year with the 5-team tournament, Rod, there was a team here or there, Crown Canada, that maybe should have been. So you kind of even that out. the intensity has ratcheted up for sure as the playoffs approach. People are do or die. They're finally bearing on them that their season could be over if they don't figure it out. So, certainly it's been great to watch, great to see, and the fans have really been treated and come out in waves.
Well, it's funny, by the way, that you mentioned the Estevan and whomever was responsible for bringing our show here.
Yeah.
It's been great for us because we've been introduced to the fans of all these teams from across the country, all 10 teams, and now they've perked up. They're watching the show, which has been great. And tell our viewers, if you don't mind, because our Channel Game Plus is anchored out of Toronto. You are a Easterner by trade, and you have an OJHL background, so tell the viewers that if you don't mind. You've got a pretty good history with this entire league.
Yeah, I love the Junior A game, Rod, to be honest. I've been involved in that far more than Major Junior over my career so far. I started working with the Vaughan Vipers. They're now distinct.
That's your hometown?
I'm from Vaughan, Vaughan, Ontario. Same place as Mitch Marner. There you go.
Are you bragging or complaining?
No, I love Mitch. Mitch is fantastic. I called a Mitch Marner game, Rod, when he was a 15-year-old call-up for the Don Mills Flyers.
How about that?
U8 or playing minor midget. I don't know if can we say minor midget on the show.
You just did.
Politically correct. I did. I guess I just did. But he was getting a call up for the St. Mike's Buzzers Junior A in the Ontario Junior League, and they were playing the North York Rangers, who I was working for. So I've been working in the Junior A game specifically since 2010. And, was calling games for 4 different teams in the OJHL before I moved out to Saskatchewan. So, lots of good connections, and I was very gratified, and I'm very excited to see how all the Pickering Panthers have done here.
As I mentioned, I want to keep Nugsy for a couple of segments here. So next one, we'll talk Stanley Cup playoffs because I know you're dying to do that. Matthew Decker watching on YouTube. He's in the chat. He says, Brooks, the defending Centennial Cup champs getting Bookman back is huge. Dauphin has been great. A dark horse or a favorite. And Flin Flon, they just find a way to hang around. Jenna Reagan checking in from Southern California. Hey, Jenna, we covered the CFL chat earlier. We're into Stanley Cup playoff chat here now and Junior A hockey. But we have 30 seconds. Has it hurt Mitch Marner to be a local kid playing for the Leafs? I can't imagine the glare.
It doesn't help him, and a lot of people say he's going to win somewhere else one day. I hope not. But he clearly loves the GTA. They love him for the most part. It's just the blowhards on social media, I think, that don't like Mitch Marner. But I don't know if it hurts him. What a wonderful player he is.
So you Eastern Canadian viewers, perk up when we come back. Nugsy wants to create an all-Toronto NHL All-Star team. And I have no idea why you even came up with that. He walked in here talking to himself, literally. He's like, is there any goalies from Toronto? I said, well, Cujo. And he's like, no, now. And that's welcome to me and Nugsy's discussions, right? Usually over gluten-free pizza.
Yeah.
So we'll get into Taco Time viewer takeover next, and we'll get the viewers' take. You don't have to be from Eastern Canada to answer that question, but it would help. So we'll be right back. We're watching the RP show live from Estevan and the Centennial Cup, presented by Tim Hortons on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
The Rod Pedersen Show, live from the 2022 Centennial Cup, proudly presented by the City of Estevan, Saskatchewan, and by award-winning Wanda Heron Photography.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casinos and suites.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Aerial coverage of the RP Show presented by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And our junior hockey coverage this week at the Centennial Cup is brought to you in part by Cavendish Farms, proud supporter of junior hockey across Canada. And this is Taco Time Viewer Takeover. Did you know Taco Time has been around for over 40 years in Canada? This iconic brand and a Canadian favorite serves over 3.2 million burritos, 2.5 million tacos, and over 1 million Mexi fries every year. There's a Taco Time, Neugsy, in Estevan on Kensington Avenue. Do you want to go with me?
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll consider it a go. What we do here is we turn it over to the viewers. I've kind of been doing it all day long, but I'll do it more here. Bob Smith is watching on Game Plus TV in Maple Ridge, BC, and he says, "Good morning. Refreshing to hear your show. Toronto is ringing in my ears. Your show rocks." I don't know why he would say Toronto's ringing in his ears, but sure. Ward in Winnipeg says, "Good morning, guys. If the CFL fans are ticked over this mess, just wait until the Blue Bombers win the Grey Cup again." LOL. Signed, Ward in Bomberland. Let's just get him on the field before we get talking about that. Yeah. Nugsy, before we talk about the All-Toronto NHL All-Star team, which I think you'd struggle to cobble that all together, but do you have a winner, a final prediction? Who's going to be in it here?
Great question. I do. I think the way that the Brooks Bandits are built and the way they play, I don't see anybody stopping them. I joked with their broadcaster, Nathan Crosby, that maybe the best game at this tournament would be a Brooks Bandits inter-squad game. And
they're very good.
They're very good. And I think, the way that, and this is not going to make me popular in SJHL circles, but the way that the Dauphin Kings are playing, put together, great goaltending, great decor. So there you go. I got a bit of a surprise Brooks Dauphin final, right?
That game would be fire, as my Florida friends would say. I like that Dauphin team yesterday. They got a Gorgiev, gray eyes. Yeah. The goalie's outstanding.
Cherapak, yeah.
They got a really good team. The Dauphin Kings.
Doug Headley, local legend here in Estevan.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Argo, a guy watching, his name is Argo Fluffy. And he writes in, he says, the year Mitch Marner was called up was the year Matt Buckles was the top player.
Right.
I have photos in the Hockey News of Matt.
And it
was a highlight.
I have a story about, sorry for interrupting you there.
You're the guest. You do whatever you want.
There you go. I like that. I have Matt Buckles, not a little bit sad. Matt Buckles playing for Buzzers against the North York Rangers. Franco Loparco on the North York Rangers hits him from behind. Matt Buckles going to be an NHL draft pick, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think Buckles was ever the same. Called that game. Pretty sad. But he was an excellent player for St. Mike's, for sure.
So the thing is, normally people write in and say, love your show. It's Western Canadian base, Western Canadian guys. But to have you guys, you people from Eastern Canada sit here and talk about it, I'll allow it. I'll allow it today. Yeah, exactly, because we are anchored out of Toronto on Game Plus TV. Janelle Barkman is watching in the Bridge City, and she says, is there anywhere to watch the games?
You go to hockeycanada.ca. You find the Centennial Cup link. It's right there. You just click on the schedule, and then you can click watch right there. Thank you for asking, though. Nolan, who's calling half, and I'm calling half, we're having a blast.
Yeah, very clearly. And I appreciate you allowing me to drop by the booth and just harass you guys.
Anytime,
and
Rob.
yeah, well, and we had Brent Ladd on here yesterday, the president of the Canadian Junior Hockey League, and it was hilarious. I was like, this 10-team tournament's so innovative.
Yeah.
How well do you know Brent?
How do I know Brent?
He's sly, eh?
Yeah.
Last minute of play? Less than a minute, Clark says. Okay, he says, well, Rod, we took it from the World Juniors. Not that groundbreaking. 2 pools of 5. I'm like, oh! Well, it's working really good. That makes it far more easy to figure out for a simpleton like me.
Yeah, that's a great point.
How much time was left, Clark? Okay. Inside a minute left in the opening period. Well, Nugsy, thank you. A plug for your latest column? Why don't you throw it out there?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
A plug for your latest column.
Yeah, just go to rodpedersen.ca. Around the Rinks. Nugsy's Around the Rinks, brought to you by Willie's Tap House. The best pizza, Rod, in Estevan, in Saskatchewan, probably the world. Our buddy Pete Saragella owns it. Willie's Tap House in Estevan, beautiful place.
Tower Pizza's king. Have a good call tonight, buddy.
Thanks very much.
Next hour, Grant Jennings, NHL great, and Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames after this break on Game Plus.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time. Big time.
Every kitchen is a restaurant. Ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week. or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
But you see that Kadri signaled the crowd last night. He did his talking on the ice. I know a lot of people don't like him. It's his style of play people don't like more than anything as far as hockey fans. But as far as his race goes, I'm just a Kadri fan for all of how he's handled this. He did his talking on the ice. He said, I've been dealing with this for years. He just kind of dismissed it. No different than Ethan Bear and stuff he's gone through. And I'm just proud of Nazem Kadri. Answered the bell last night.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Well, welcome inside, everybody. Hour 2 of the RP Show. We're coming at you, as always, from Affinity Place in Estevan, Saskatchewan. It's Day 7 of the Centennial Cup National Junior A Hockey Championship, presented by Tim Hortons. Our coverage brought to you in part by Power Dodge Estevan, Wanda Heron Photography in the city of Estevan. And we've got a wonderful hour 2, like a really great hour 2 coming up for you for a variety of reasons. The Moose is back. You having a good day, Moose?
Having a great day.
Yeah, you're on the phone there doing business?
Yeah, it was awesome.
I discovered a hot tub here in the facility. I was roaming, talking on the phone this morning. I'm like, there's a hot tub over here. And it actually looks clean.
How about that?
I'll show you after. Yeah, $25 for the rest of the week, they said.
Okay.
And you're in. Things are looking up. It's the last day of the round robin. The bad news is the Estevan Bruins have been eliminated from contention, but they will play tonight against the Brooks Bandits. And there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. The CFL isn't hanging by a thread. It's always hanging by a thread. That's another topic today. We sit with bated breath and await the results of this latest ratification vote by CFL players, whether they're going to play or not. And we're just having a lot of fun talking about all of this stuff here on your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. And the Blue Jays won last night in St. Louis last night, 8-1, so that's got people in a better mood. Coming up this hour, Grant Jennings. Now, I know you young grasshoppers don't know who he is. That's not a Grant problem, that's a you problem. You good?
Yeah.
But I remember him. Grant Jennings played in the National Hockey League from 1987 to 1996 with the Washington Capitals, Hartford Whalers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Toronto Maple Leafs, Buffalo Sabres, and he played his junior hockey with the Humboldt Broncos and the Saskatoon Blades. And as I was told that he's going to be here today, and I believe he's coming up in the second segment, he hails from Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, home of Trent Yanni, home of Craig Adam, home of Glenn Gulletson, where the original Hudson Bay Rules was born.
That's where it started.
Hudson Bay Rules came from Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, the moose capital of the world. So I'm actually really excited to have Grant Jennings here in hour 2. I finally got around to tweeting the poll, Moose.
Okay.
And I thank John in Edmonton for the idea. An Oilers fan who showed up to troll here today with the Oilers winning last night over the Flames, and we really mind screwed him. We brought him in onto the team.
That's right.
I don't think he was prepared for that. He said, which team's bandwagon will Rod get on next? And that's the poll question for Capital Auto Mall. The options, Moose, are the Edmonton Oilers, Colorado Avalanche, Tampa Bay Lightning, or the Brooks Bandits. Because I fell hard for the Alberta Junior A League reps this morning when they were practicing with tunes blaring, hip-hop tunes and dance tunes during their practice. They're a Swiss watch, man. They weren't even listening to their coach. Did you notice? They didn't need to.
Yeah.
Because they were doing their drills seamlessly, but dancing at the same time.
Isn't that cool?
A lot of pressure on the Brooks Bandits, apparently.
They're feeling pretty good. Like,
they're the best team here.
Yeah, and they're so good. I don't know what it is about that group because they just they've walked in here and showed that they might be just the class of the country. And, yeah, they're a fun team.
They're fun to watch. Yeah. So they play Estevan tonight, unfortunately, in a meaningless game. And it is meaningless. We'll see if the Estevan Bruins go out with pride. So you know, I voted for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay.
I'm already on it. I already know the answer to what bandwagon I'm getting on. I wanted to see what you people would say. And I'm still sitting there trying to figure out when I go back to Florida next week if I'm going to go over to Tampa or not. I'm clearly more concerned about what's going on here at the Centennial Cup in Estevan.
Yeah, you got some time.
Ryan Dolman watching on YouTube says Brooks have been dominant all year. Watched them this season and saw their AJHL clinching final over Spruce Grove. They could win any type of game you want. You were in the barn when they won, weren't you there?
Yes.
That night?
Yeah.
That had to be pretty cool.
Really cool. They got a very nice facility, too. Not dissimilar to this. Obviously not as new, but very cool vibe. It was packed. The atmosphere was good. The crowd was good. They traveled pretty well. We've seen lots of Brooks fans here today. And you look up at the rafters in Brooks, Alberta at the rink, and it's just banner after banner after banner after banner. All in the last decade. They've won like every year, it feels like. So the program is pointed in the right direction in Brooks.
We're going to talk more NHL hockey next segment when Grant Jennings joins us, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about here in hour 2 for those that just tuned in on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, or maybe you're just catching the podcast for the first time and you're listening after the fact. But last night, the Edmonton Oilers stunned the Calgary Flames 5-3. Everybody was stunned except Oilers fans and the Oilers themselves. And the Oilers are now up 3-1, and they can end it in Calgary on Thursday. And the New York Rangers beat Carolina 4-1. That series is tied 2-2, and we've been talking about it all week. The Rangers should be up in the series, actually, 3-1, because they blew Game 1. So there's just one game tonight. As I look at the schedule, it's the St. Louis Blues at the Colorado Avalanche. Avs can lock it up, the series, with a win tonight. And I might as well mention the dub games tonight. Winnipeg Ice at the Edmonton Oil Kings, and the Kamloops Blazers at the Seattle Thunderbirds. In the West Final, Oil Kings and Blazers lead 2-1. You said something before we went to air. I think it was before we went to air. You said the NHL's figured it out, playing every night.
Yeah.
Explain.
They have. You know, in years past, we would see, and a lot of it has to do with building availability. I get that. But we would see complete nights off in the NHL throughout the playoffs, and everybody hated it. Well, now they've got games every night, no matter what. And you used to see in series, you'd play 2 games, then you'd get 2 days off in between, when you swing to the other location, and then you'd play again. Now it's every second night, no matter what. The only time we saw it was the building availability. I think it was in Tampa, and then they played 2 games back-to-back, but every night. And I think it's going to roll through the conference finals. One conference, one night, one the next. So you'll have hockey every single night, which is cool.
We need it. But I will say here at the Centennial Cup, sitting with hockey people, and you have to understand, hockey people can watch a cartoon game, the Raccoons, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
The Joe Blow, John Q. Public can't, but the people we were with here yesterday, I mean, we got a bang out of that Dauphin Flin-Flon game. I know it's not for the average person, but if you're a hockey person, this is where you want to be. It's just as good as watching the NHL. That's why we're having so much fun. People are checking in with their comments on where, and thank you for answering the bell on that. Jeff Kibilis in Winnipeg says, I think the Flames will win at home, and then the Oilers will finish it in Game 6. From Andrew from Quebec, he says, looks like Martin St. Louis will be signed to an extension. GM Kent Hughes says it should be done as soon as next week. Thank you for the update from Montreal. And I know history will say this about the Dominic Ducharme era. Did that actually happen, or was that a dream?
I know.
When they fired Claude Julien And this guy comes in and takes you to the Stanley Cup final, and then he gets fired the next year. Did that actually happen? It did. It's weird.
Yeah, like you blink and you miss it. It's over. Like, he brought the magic. I mean, he turned that team around, took them on the run, and then never really got a chance to build it again. You know, they were there way ahead of schedule, obviously. He got everything out of that group, and you should never have expected them to be anywhere near a Stanley Cup team the next year. But he should have been. I would have hoped he would have had an opportunity to help build that program up. But I think we all seem to be fans of Martin St. Louis on the bench, too. So it's not like we don't like the guy.
Hey, far be it for me to tell people how to do their business. If the Montreal Canadiens felt that Dominic Ducharme had to go, he had to go. The fans weren't really arguing it when they fired him, were they? But I mean, you lose Carey Price. And you lose Shea Weber. Your heart and soul.
Dominic Ducharme.
The best goalie in the league, probably.
He goes home that night and is like, honey, I'm probably getting fired because we're not going to win many games this year. Like,
and he was right. When you know, you know.
Yeah.
I was on Global National. I talked about it last hour. I'll do it again now for the sake of the CFL people that are watching. The CFL fans. The crux of it was this. I thought I was just going on Global Toronto, which is a big enough platform and stage for sure, but this was national because all of a sudden my phone's going off. Apparently, a lot of people watch Global.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
So it was all across Canada on Global. It brought me on to talk about the CFL. And do you know why? Because they knew that they were going to get the truth. Or at least nobody pulling my strings or somebody putting me up to what I was going to have to say. And we sit here. The owners, represented by the commissioner, Randy Ambrosi, have given their final offer to the players. This is it. And they have until midnight on Thursday night to vote to accept it or reject it. But if they reject it, the owners are saying we're kicking you out of the dorms where we are housing you for training camp, which is a bit of a threat. They're dangling $1 million bonus in front of them. If you guys vote yes, we're going to give you $1 million. You can split it up amongst yourselves. Union members, that is, which I don't think rookies count to that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you could buy votes. Like in real elections, they do it, but they don't say they're doing it. Here they're actually telling you, if you vote in favor of this, we're going to give you $1 million.
I know. They're literally saying that. I know. And it's out in the open. They're disguising it as whatever... revenue share. I don't know what they're calling it, right? And they're
calling it a ratification bonus.
Ratification bonus, and they're taking some money off the cap, $400,000 or whatever.
They're just moving it.
They're just moving numbers around, right?
I know how that goes.
But at the end of the day, I can do some quick math. That's a $600,000 win for the players if they vote yes. Meanwhile, they're sneaking in a bunch of stuff in bullet point 8, 9, and 10. No, I don't know, but yeah, it's down to the 11th hour.
So the anchor. This is what I think the CFL forgets, and I've said it so many times on this show, the longtime viewers will know what I'm saying. The new viewers are hearing it for the first time. But the longer I get out of the CFL, having worked in it for 20 years, I see now the way the rest of society sees the CFL. I love the CFL. Society loves the CFL. But they're not necessarily following the minutiae, if I say that right, of what's going on a day-to-day basis. They watch the games. So, again... Global, I was primed and prepped for this interview, and they say, Rod, it's going to be 4 minutes long, so keep your thoughts tight. And I said, I can do that. I've been around the block a few times. Then we get into the interview. It's like 8 minutes long because the anchor, Anthony Robart, the national anchor, who informs me that he's a Saskatchewan boy, he says, I'm a CFL fan. He just kept going on and on and on with his questions.
Yeah.
For instance, he's like, Touchdown Atlantic. Riders have never played in that. Is that going to go? And I'm like, well, yeah. It's July 16th. Of course it's going to go. But it wasn't that he was in error in any way. That's the way people are thinking.
Yeah.
So they've been on strike once. They might do it again. They might not play a season. That's what they're thinking.
Most people are, where is this? Are they playing or not? Last we heard, they voted it down, so they must not be playing, right? And they are still at practice, but there is this other vote, and it's very confusing for the average fan. They just want to know.
It's confusing for us.
Right. They want to know, are you playing? And when are you playing? That's it.
I think it's confusing for the players.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's in my commentary today. which you can read at rodpedersen.com or listen to at Cat Country or Rock 98.5. The older I get, the more I realize the players are young men. They're not business people. And I've been working in the league since 1991, and I can't necessarily figure out what they're doing with the ratio, okay? So how are you going to expect a guy that's been here for 3 minutes to vote on this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then the money, it's not even about the money. It's never been about the money for the players. It's all about the money for the owners, right?
Yeah.
So, again, it's confusing. It would be nice if they could figure it out and somehow simplify it. When I was sitting there talking to an agent on the phone last night, he's confused. But I kept it positive, and I think I've kept this portion of the show positive in terms of we love the CFL. Can you just get it going? And John Huffnagel and Wade Miller, representing Calgary and Winnipeg teams, are optimistic that the games will be played. There's supposed to be 4 games this weekend. But I would be remiss if I didn't say, Darren, that the players could still pull the ultimate power play. And that is practice all week and then say, nope, we're not playing games. I don't think they will, but they could.
They could. They absolutely could. And we don't know where it's going to go because, when now it's about the money, $1 million here, $400 off the cap, and it's about changing the ratio again and figuring that stuff out. It's almost as a player like, okay, what? We got to go back to the beginning and start this again. Let's really read through all of this and that process. And, yeah, like they might have to say, look, we're not going to play until this gets squared away.
All right, Moose, I see that our next guest is here. He's the guy that's blocked out the sun.
Yes, I noticed. I noticed.
On course. The program is brought to you in part by Tough Tribe for Men. Hair products. It contains aloe vera, botanicals, and antioxidants. Traditionally known for their scalp and hair benefits, we are part of the clean beauty industry. Welcome to Clean Beauty for Men. Available today at toughtribeformen.com. That's the number 4, toughtribeformen.com, and Amazon Canada. What do we got here? 12-year NHL veteran Grant Jennings joins us next, live from the Centennial Cup, presented by Tim Hortons. You're watching on Game Plus TV. We're live streaming on YouTube, of course. And if you've missed any portion of the show, you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
The Rod Pedersen Show, live from Estevan, is presented in part by the award-winning Wanda Heron Photography.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
This is a bedtime story and a rise and shine.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The Rod Pedersen Show, brought to you by Powered Dodge Estevan.
You're looking live at beautiful Estevan, Saskatchewan. Our coverage this week is brought to you by Cavendish Farms, proud supporter of junior hockey across Canada. And it is the final day of the round robin here, the National Junior A Championship, the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons. And NHL playoff games tonight. There's just one, St. Louis at Colorado. We're going to talk NHL, WHL, Junior A with our next guest, Grant Jennings, who joins us, a man that I feel needs no introduction. We did read your bio off earlier before, Grant. Welcome to Estevan. How you doing?
Thanks. It was a nice drive through the prairies again from Regina, and it's been a while since I've been to Estevan, but yeah, this is a nice facility for sure.
Well, it's beautiful. Yeah. I think the best in the country for Junior A. And for those that weren't listening at the end of the last segment, played for the Humboldt Broncos, Saskatoon Blades, and in the NHL from 1987 to 1996 with Washington, Hartford, Pittsburgh, Toronto, and Buffalo. Now living in Alaska, and we got a lot to go through here, but first, what brings you here other than the hockey? I guess for the hockey you came.
Well, I have a house still in Saskatchewan, in northern Saskatchewan, just north of La Ronge at Otter Lake, and then my mother is in a home around Balgony, and my brother lives in Regina, so I fly in and out of Regina so I can visit family and check and see if my house is still there.
Well, it's good to have you home, and I should mention Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, where they invented Hudson Bay rules.
Yeah. We lived there till 1972. And I remember when we moved to Melfort, we would go back and play against Hudson Bay, and I was playing Junior B, and we were playing against the Hudson Bay Hunters in Junior B in playoffs. And I was only 15, and that was a scary moment in my life.
That's a scary place. It can be.
But I survived it, and then I ended up by the end of that year, I ended up in Notre Dame instead. So
yeah,
it turned out.
How old were you when you sprouted to this size? He's a giant, by the way.
Well, I mean, I was always, tall. Like my dad was 6'5", and my brother's 6'4". My sister's 6 foot. I mean, so I kind of was always tall, but I was kind of scrawny.
Right.
Even when I played for the Blades, I was only 175 pounds. But I played a little. I guess I played bigger than I was.
That's why I asked. At 15, it would be intimidating, but I think you probably weren't out of place. But I said to Grant before we came on, I said, what do you want to talk about? The first thing out of your mouth was Humboldt Broncos, and it's hard to be around a Junior A tournament. And you're going to see today there's jerseys here for Humboldt Broncos. April 6, 2018.
Yeah.
Where were you? How did it affect you as an alum?
I was at work, actually, up on the north slope of where I work for an oil company there in Alaska. And I remember, hearing the news and, thinking right away, we used to make that bus ride, and my dad lived from Nipawin, so I know the area. I knew the intersection. And so, it hit home pretty well, I mean, it was very upsetting,
Yeah.
So it still is to talk about.
It is for everybody, and that's why I don't honestly bring it up a whole lot,
right.
But I think it'll help you to be here. and be around these folks. You're obviously looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to come back. I mean, I haven't seen, like, my hometown's Melfort, so they have, the Mustangs, but, I mean, it's nice to get back and watch, these kids play hockey, and, I put myself back in those shoes back in, the early 80s, and it brings back great memories, in this facility. I mean, it's pretty nice.
It's the first time you've been in it today?
Yes.
Or you're going to have to get a tour. You probably haven't had time to get a tour.
Not yet, but I'm here for a couple of days. So.
Good. And I appreciate Len Strandberg for lining this interview up today. I was very excited to have you in here. And I got to ask you, as an alum of the Capitals, Whalers, Penguins, Leafs, and Sabres, of the teams that are left in the Stanley Cup playoffs, is there one that you'd like to see win out of all of those?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's some that I don't want to see win.
You don't want to say who those are?
It's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, of course, I'm really enjoying the Battle of Alberta there. I mean, I got some friends in Calgary and Edmonton. And the Rangers, they came back and beat my Penguins there. They were down 3-1. So, kind of, I'm cheering for them a little bit just because of that, what they did there. And it's just good hockey to see. I mean,
hasn't it been fantastic?
Yeah, it has been. I mean, going to 7 games, and besides the sweep there with Florida. I mean, but yeah, it's been good hockey. I mean, just entertaining. So,
yeah. Well, Alan May's here, and you would have had some wars with Alan.
Is Alan here?
He's here.
Because I was in Washington there 3 weeks or a month ago, and
he was there.
Yeah, he was there. We did an alumni thing together, so I'm looking forward to seeing him.
I've been with him for 3 solid days.
Oh,
so
awesome,
he's
awesome.
Edmonton guy, Oilers born and bred, like that's his team. And he said this was going to happen. What's happening in this series? I'm like, Alan, who could have believed they would go up 3-1?
Yeah.
Like, what a series that's been.
Yeah, I mean, it went from Calgary being the favorite there right off the hop there, and then all of a sudden, Connor kind of decided that wasn't going to happen, and turn the tables there. So, yeah, it's been great to watch.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that, because this was our poll question Monday. Is Connor McDavid the most dominant player the NHL's ever seen? And Al said, today, yes, all-time, no. He said Sidney Crosby.
Man, I don't know.
Well, you're defending the greats.
I have to think about that one. I mean,
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have sprung it on you like that.
But, now, yeah, of course. That's pretty obvious. But, back when I played in the Stanley Cup Finals, I mean, Mario took over, when we played against the Stars in the Finals. We kind of rode his back, kind of similar what you're seeing there in Edmonton.
Yeah.
But, they're in the quarterfinals. They're not in the finals yet. So, that distinction will be made.
It kind of depends on what your definition of dominant is, too. For instance, are you familiar with Derek Morris, defenseman, played 1,000 games, Flames, Coyotes? I said to him, who was the most dominant? Nobody ever brings up Mike Modano. And he says, for a guy, as a D-man, when he's coming down on you and turns it on.
Yeah, Mike was with the Stars when we won the Cup there the first year. And, he was dominant. I mean, he actually separated my shoulder in the 5th game, the little bugger. But he was, and especially American-born, he was like, kind of a freak of nature there.
Mm-hmm.
Being an American kid and, dominating like he did. Played in Prince Albert. I got a son that's 15. He got drafted by PA this year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so he's left defenseman, big kid. So just want to mention that.
Sounds like you're going to be coming back here a lot more then.
I might be, yeah. I mean, there's some teams in the CJHL looking at him, and he just turned 15 in February, so he's got a ways to go.
He hasn't made a decision yet on what he's going to do?
No. We haven't.
Right.
But, no, we haven't decided yet. We can go either way. I mean, we got a lot of ties to Saskatchewan, obviously, family. My grandparents, my brothers, my parents. So there's that draw for us to come here. But then there's, the NCAA, of course. But, he can play in the SJHL my guy did, and take scholarship if he wants. And we'll see what happens. He's got, got a long ways to go before we make that decision.
9-year NHL veteran and Stanley Cup champion Grant Jennings is with us. And pardon me as I do this. I said when they come out for warm-up, it's going to get loud in here, and that's fine. But I think I got to put in the rest of my headphones here.
I'm kind of used to that noise.
You think I would be too? I just put in the rest of my headphones here. But tell the viewers, if you don't mind, about Alaska and Anchorage and what took you up there and what's kept you up there.
Well, when I retired, my dad was a bush pilot conservation officer in Saskatchewan for 25 years. So we had our own airplane back when I was in Hudson Bay. And then we moved to Melfort, and I was still a conservation officer. So when I was done playing, I was in Pittsburgh. When I retired, there was a school there where I used to fly. And I decided I would go to the maintenance school and become a mechanic. And I got my degree, and I started fixing them, and 9/11 happened and lost my job with U.S. Airways in Pittsburgh. Long story short, I ended up in Alaska. My sister lives in Whitehorse, so I wanted to be closer to her, and I took a pretty good job up there. And that was in 2002, and I worked my way up through the industry, kind of like I did in hockey, and ended up with an oil company and a good job. And I worked 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, so it affords me, time to come back here.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
When did you make the decision that you were going to come to the Centennial Cup to watch some games?
Well, I talked to Leonard Strander, and he said that he knew I was going to be in Regina. And he said, well, why don't you come out to the games? And I said, yeah, how far is it? I remember. He said 2 hours, and I said, okay. And then he mentioned, you, and I said, yeah, okay, I'll be there. So I went to my nephew's baseball game last night in Regina. And then got up this morning and got on the road.
I'm going to read some viewer comments here. It's getting louder than it's ever been. Can you still hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can? Okay. Ted is watching in Red Deer, Alberta. He says, I'll say it again, what a great location. And it is. There's no doubt. Right here at the concourse level, just a little loud. Oleg watching in Winnipeg says, I think Grant cheering for the Rangers is cheering for the Rangers. I think he got that wrong. You're not cheering for the Rangers, are you? Or are you?
I don't know. A little bit, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, a little bit. I got some friends in New York that I can get me tickets if they get to the final.
That's why. We all have our own reasons, right, of who we cheer for and why. Talk about winning the Stanley Cup. When you think about that run, was that 91?
91.
91?
Then the second one, 92, back-to-back.
Beating Chicago and Minnesota.
Correct.
Yeah.
Minnesota first, and then Chicago 92, yeah.
What are the things that come to mind when you think about those runs?
Just how good we were. I mean, it was, and then the third year we didn't win, but we won the President's Trophy, but we set a record for wins there, and just to be on that team. I mean, it wasn't who we playing tonight, it was who we were beating tonight. I mean, it was just kind of an uncanny way to go to the rink. I mean, we were that good, and winning the Stanley Cups was just, like every kid's dream. And then, the parties afterwards and Mario's place and parades and the crowds at the baseball stadiums and they when Pittsburgh's a sports city. When you win there, they don't forget. I mean, I go back now and I'll go down and walk down to my seats and someone will start yelling my name, Jennings, get out there or whatever, right?
Wow, they know you.
They still remember, and it's amazing.
Badger Bob Johnson, right?
Yeah.
What made him so good as the head coach?
Well, I mean, we could be just crapping the crap out there, and he'd come in between periods and we'd be thinking we're going to get yelled at, and he would say, hey, he'd bring up something good instead of dwelling on the negative like, a lot of coaches would be doing. He just had an uncanny way of getting it out of you too, like he would come up to me after the game, he'd say, come on, Grant, ride the bike, get a little better shape, and I'm like, nah, He go, come on, I'll ride it with you. So he would ride the bike with me,
like 70 years old.
Yeah, just to get me to ride it. So he's just a great guy. He's just the nicest guy. And he's the nicest coach I ever had.
Was he ahead of his time in that way, do you think?
I think so. The way the way they treat players now, there's not much old school, in coaching. I mean, to a certain extent, but yeah, he saw that. He came from college, in Calgary, and then it was just a different style for sure.
Yeah. Grant, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the hockey. It was a great visit, and we'll be keeping an eye out for your kid.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be making a decision on where he's even playing next year?
We're gonna play in Alaska this year, so he plays like first year midget, like 16U, and then he plays for a high school team there also. So he's playing on 2 teams, and then we might come to camp in Prince Albert in the fall.
Why not, eh?
So as a 15-year.
Congratulations on that so far.
Yeah.
And now I'll be watching to see where.
I'm sorry about my voice.
Oh, no, you're fine. Absolutely great. Welcome home.
Yeah,
enjoy the hockey.
All right, thanks for having me.
Stanley Cup champion Grant Jennings joining us here at Affinity Place in Estevan. Before we break, I'm going to do a sports update, tell you what's going on. The Colorado Avalanche can close out their NHL playoff series with the St. Louis Blues on home ice tonight. The Avs grabbed a 3-1 series lead on Monday with a 6-3 win in St. Louis. Nazem Kadri scored a hat trick for Colorado. Boston's in Miami for Game 5 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals tonight. The top-seeded Heat and second-seeded Celtics are knotted up at 2 games each. Miami guards Tyler Herro, who sat out Game 4 with a groin injury, and Kyle Lowry, who's nursing a sore hamstring, are both listed as questionable for tonight's contest. The Canadian Elite Basketball League tips off their 4th season tonight in 3 venues. In Hamilton, the Honey Badgers are home to the Montreal Alliance. In Ottawa, the Blackjacks welcome the Fraser Valley Bandits. And in Saskatchewan, the Rattlers are home to the Niagara River Lions. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.ca. The sports update's brought to you by Ballers Rec Room, your official home of Slow Pitch, open Wednesday to Sunday on Regina's Dudney Strip. Also for the Tap, Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We're going to talk Battle of Alberta with Ryan Leslie of Sportsnet Flames. When we come back, we're at the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons. Our coverage brought to you by Power Dodge, Estevan, and Cavendish Farms. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Rod Pedersen, back in Canada. He must be lost. On location, brought to you by the city of Estevan. Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Every kitchen is a restaurant-ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You're looking live at beautiful Affinity Place in Estevan, Saskatchewan, the finest Junior A barn in the country, and Day 7 of the Centennial Cup, presented by Tim Hortons, ready to roll at Noon Mountain. It's Summerside PEI up against the Ottawa Junior Senators, the first of a Wednesday tripleheader here. Well, you were all watching last night. I know I was. Game 4 of the Battle of Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers upending the Calgary Flames 5-3. And now the Flames go home facing elimination in Game 5. Ryan Leslie on that crew, CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, and Sportsnet. He joins us to talk about it today. And I got to tell you, Ryan, nobody saw this coming. What was your take on Game 4 last night and the fact the Flames couldn't pull it off despite battling back to tie it the way they did?
Yeah, probably, Rod, their best game of the series. And maybe, I don't know if it was their best game of the playoffs, but certainly with the series. And it was one where they played really well within themselves. They held Connor McDavid in check, which is saying something, and he still had a couple of points. Can you hear me okay? You got me there? Yep. Okay, beautiful. So, yeah, I just wanted... You know, I just looked at that game last night. I thought that's how you're going to have to play. They threw everything at them. They kept Connor in check, and they still didn't win. I think, really, Rod, we are witnessing greatness, aren't we? We are, if we're just forgetting about allegiances and, for forgetting about whatever team you root for or whatever team you kind of, or individual you cheer for, you have to pause and just say what Connor McDavid is doing is otherworldly, and it is impressive. And the Calgary Flames are a very good hockey team that had a very good regular season. I don't know if it'll be enough. They played really well. They still didn't get the win. They come home trailing 3-1, and I'm not sure where you'd look for answers now.
You know, I think it's a great question. So what everybody's talking about is how will the Flames come out? What do we expect from them in Game 5? They said they're excited to get back home, friendly confines. You've been following this team not only this year, but 4 years. You know those guys personally. What do you expect from them in an elimination game?
Well, I think there's going to be another great push. I think the building will be electric. I think that they're going to throw everything they have at them. That sounds cliche, but I think it's accurate, Rod. Like, this is a team that can dial it up. They can play defensive, or they can play offensive, or they can play physical. I guess my question still comes back to, will it be enough? And do they have, Chris Tanev is beat up. Jacob Markstrom needs to steal you a game. The top guys have to be your top guys. You have to stay out of the box. You want to play 5-on-5. Can you win that 5-on-5 battle? There's a lot of questions that they'll have to answer tomorrow night in front of their faithful. Do they want to go back to Edmonton and keep this thing alive? So that's the mental side of it. I'm really curious to see what we get tomorrow night, because this is a huge hole, as everybody knows.
Well, you know what, Ryan, is it's funny you bring up the mental side of it. I think that's obviously huge.
Yeah.
But what about X's and O's? You know the game. You know the game of hockey. And was this a bad matchup going in for the Flames? For instance, I'm watching the games down here with NHL people, and they're saying the Flames defensemen are big trees. They're not built to handle these Oilers forwards and their speed. Is that being talked about in your circles?
Yeah, I don't know who would handle Connor McDavid the way he's playing right now. The LA Kings did a fantastic job. That was a tight-knit, rather, there wasn't a lot of room. There weren't a lot of, there was some offense in that series, but there was also some defense as well. So, Calgary's done that. They've had the explosive run and gun, the track meets. They're nobody's as fast as him. And then when you get guys like Draisaitl and Kane and Hyman all chipping in offensively, and you've seen the best that Mike Smith can give you. Even though he's looked absolutely beatable, he has still come up with incredibly big and timely saves. And the 132-footer from Rasmus Andersson last night, it still didn't wreck the party for the Oilers. So you feel you've done a lot of things good, even though you don't feel you've played, to the best of your abilities in this series. You just kind of get the sense, at least I do, is this Edmonton Oilers team taking another step in front of our eyes.
Do you feel like, Ryan, there's anything Daryl Sutter can do, whether it be with a pep talk or X's and O's, or is it on the players at this point in time? Because he looked a little stunned at points in the game last night, too, and your network showed him pacing before the game. He seemed very nervous. Why wouldn't you be? But is there anything Daryl Sutter can do to turn this around, or is it on the players?
I think it's both, Roddy. I really do. Those players have to be better. I think Daryl is still probably one of the best at the matchup game, or, obviously he's going to have last change here, but the bench management, who's going. Although we did see a couple of curious moments in terms of who was on the ice late in the game last night. But if there's one thing Daryl Sutter is brilliant at, that there are many, but he is really, really good at that bench management. So, I think that he's going to need everybody. Everybody's going to be have to be better, and I think he's got to get creative and get tricky, and what he does every night is kind of figure out who that hot hand is. He's fantastic at it. So we'll see. X's and O's wise, I won't probably offer any advice there, but I just think he is so good at figuring out what buttons to push, and he'll need to be, just like the players have to be their best tomorrow, he too will have to be the best. And I think the big thing is preaching about penalties and everything else.
Great point, but I'll just say this last one. Like Sutter hockey, what they've been doing all year hasn't really been that in this series in my mind. Like, can they punish the Oilers physically, or would that not, like playing run and gun, I don't think is what you want to do against Edmonton.
I'm with you. I thought we might see a little bit more black and blue and take it to the alley or to the streets and get them off their game. I'm not, because they can't catch them. So, again, I'm no NHL strategist. I'm just a bit surprised that maybe we haven't seen a little bit more in the physical department. But you want to stay out of the box, too. So you want to walk that line without crossing it. But they've been in the box without being that way. Maybe it's time to take it to the alley. I don't know.
Well, they were certainly far too much spent in the penalty box in Game 4 for sure. The question will be, can they get back to the Calgary Flames that we know in Game 5? Well, we'll be watching. I love seeing you every single time, Ryan. Keep up the great work, my man, and thanks for the time today.
Roddy, great to see you. Great to be with you.
Sportsnet Flames and Hockey Night in Canada's Ryan Leslie, part of the GGN, the Good Guy Network. We'll be right back with Taco Time Viewer Takeover. We'll answer all of your questions on what's been a great day here at the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons. And you're watching on the Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. We're live streaming on YouTube, and we've got 24-hour sports radio streaming right now at rodpedersen.com.
The Rod Pedersen Show, brought to you by Power Dodge Estevan. Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry. There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
This is a bedtime story.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
On location at the 2022 Centennial Cup, brought to you by the City of Estevan.
You're looking live at the Energy City, Estevan, Sask, moments away from the first game of the day. The Summerside PEI Capitals against the Ottawa Junior Senators. A true national tournament, the 10 best teams in Canada at the Junior A level here in Estevan. The first of a triple-header hitting the ice. This is viewer takeover for Taco Time. We do it every day. Canadians love local. Go loco. Eat local. Taco Time uses fresh ingredients sourced in Canada. Our beef, chicken, cheddar cheese, sour cream, and Mexi fries are all made in Canada. Let's welcome to the program for the final segment, Darren Moose Dupont. How you doing, Moose? Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Had to turn down because of the bedlam after Jennings left. And thank you, Jordan, for pointing that out. What is wrong with us? It's day 7 of the tournament. We have yet to go to Taco Time, but we're doing it today. Okay. It's on Kensington Avenue, just so you know.
All right, you found it.
It's like 0.3 kilometers from here. We could walk it.
We might walk, yeah, okay.
You've walked more here than you've probably walked in a year anywhere. Am I right?
No, not, but yeah, I've walked a lot here. Walked all the way down right to the coffee shop this morning, walked to the rink. It's fun. The weather's great. This is spring hockey. You love it. And our hotel is a 10-minute walk from the rink.
Who would not love this?
Yeah.
Thank you so much to the city of Estevan for bringing us down here and our wonderful sponsors that have made it possible. Wanda Heron Photography, City of Estevan, Power Dodge, Estevan, as we mentioned, and Cavendish Farms. A lot of people love Cavendish Farms, by the way. Brian Goldstrom's watching on Game Plus TV right now in Withrow, Alberta, and he points out about Grant Jennings. He says, from Wikipedia, he appeared in 54 Stanley Cup playoff games, scoring 2 goals and recording 1 assist. He is currently working for ConocoPhillips as an aircraft mechanic in Alaska.
Whoa.
No dummy. But you know what's one of the wonderful things about one of the most enjoyable things about my life right now is with you and Clark, and I tell these guys who's coming on the show, and you're just like, who? And then you meet him.
Yeah.
He's signing autographs over here on the concourse. That guy just NHL.
Yeah. You see it all the time.
It looks great.
So cool. Looks good. You know he's been through a few wars, and they're just good people. That's the biggest thing. When they're done, they come back to these events. They're good people. Good people.
I'm going to say this again. The longtime Saskatchewan people will know what I'm talking about. The newbie viewers don't, but it reminds me very much of the Craven Country Jamboree, whereby, although it was only a Friday, Saturday, Sunday music festival, I would go in on the Monday. By Wednesday, I'd be flamed out.
Yeah.
Trying to mount a furious attack for the weekend and couldn't, and that's when everybody got to town. Here, guys like him are just getting here.
Yeah.
We didn't get here till Saturday. There were people that have been here since last week.
I know.
So it is a marathon, not a sprint. I would tell everybody, pace yourself if you're coming down. But if you're coming down now, and although the Estevan Bruins are out of it, Darren, you're seeing that the Summerside fans are coming. The Flin Flon fans are coming en masse. Dauphin, Manitoba has become the it team.
Yeah.
Hey?
And you're going to see today, with the preliminary round ending, you're going to see, 4 teams go home, right? So hotels are going to open up, and those 6 teams that are left, their fans are going to start to show up en masse for the weekend, and it's really going to start to ramp up the intensity really quickly.
Scott Matheson, watching on YouTube, says the city of Estevan is proud of our Bruins. They should hold their heads high and go out tonight and have some fun. No pressure. Yes, they're getting their rings, they're getting their banner. That's all true. Unfortunately, they played like that at the start of the tournament. You can't argue that. Jeff the Stamps fan says Cavendish fries and the air fryer are awesome. Yeah, go out and buy them. From my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat. She says, I wonder how many hot dogs Rod has ate this week. 1, and it was at the Bruins Alumni Barbecue on Sunday. That's it. And just to tell you, we got some time here. Dan obviously just logged in. He said, how are the Dauphin Kings doing? They're the sexy, they're the it team right now. I really like them. I think that they can win this whole thing. They're playing today against Sioux at 4 p.m. You can watch it at hockeycanada.ca. But anyways, at the barbecue, it was Bruins alumni. There's people from all over the continent. Darren and I are sitting together as we always do. And that guy leans across the table and he goes, are you guys former Bruins? And we're like, nope. What are you doing here? We're like, what are we doing here?
What do we say to that? Exactly.
And then the matriarch of the family, Melody Pearson, who owned the house where we were having the barbecue, she's like, Rod's a hockey guy, and we had him here, and I knew this is something that Rod would enjoy, and she ended up going into the Hall of Fame for her 40-plus years billeting the Estevan Bruins. So I said, we're here as broadcasters.
Yeah.
And then it was all good, right? But it's exactly what we hoped it would be, Darren. It's a reunion, it's a festival, and there's some hockey being played too.
And hockey people getting together in the spring, watching hockey, talking hockey, and just hanging out and having a great time. It's awesome, and we still got some more left.
Oh, so the best games are ahead.
And the banquet,
games.
And
last minute of play. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's good.
Dan in Winnipeg wants to know, what is the capacity here? Believe it or not, although it looks huge, it's only 2,200 for seating, 500 standing, and 21 luxury suites for the nicest arena in Canada. John in Edmonton says, do you think the CFL players have the right to be mad at the commissioner for saying if they vote no, they're not going to pay for food and housing? What a question to drop with 30 seconds left. Well, how do you feel about it? It's dirty negotiating tactics? Welcome to put your big boy pants on.
Big boy pants need to be on. I mean, it's negotiation. That's what you're going to get. And
it's business.
It's business. I wish we could get into it more tomorrow.
Tomorrow we will. Thank you to Grant Jennings, Noogsy, Ryan Leslie, you, Moose, and our crew. We'll see you at noon Eastern tomorrow here on Game Plus. Let's make some noise!